Congratulations on your first movie, kiddo.
You gotta turn that thing off before we go hot.
I will.
Okay, so Erwin, on action. Storyboard kicks in the door, lights the place up.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Okay, people, we got one take of this. Let's not mess it up.
Oh!
I just heard from the producers, and you're fired.
Ah! All right now.
Have a seat, make yourself at home.
Is that your foreign car sitting out a little ways out of town? You got the Harvard sticker in the window?
Yeah.
Merle.
Erwin, could I get the Wi-Fi?
We don't have that. Old school.
This is from 2015.
Things don't change too much around here.
We'll get you back on the road soon enough. And while you're waiting, maybe you could help me out. I punch holes in the earth for oil like a badass.
There's a million ways to get hurt on an oil rig. Fall down, knock your teeth out, get blown up, electrocuted. If a pipe falls down, it'll kill you.
Yeah, I'm gonna step back, all right? You guys got it, though.
You know how much education I got? 8th grade. Day I dropped out, my old dad threw me up on a rig. That's all I know. They're gonna take everything I have and they're gonna ruin me. I need you to act like you are my Harvard-educated landman.
I know all the landmen around here. I've never seen that jackalope in my life. Check out his shoes.
All right, we're made up. Let's start drilling. This earth ain't gonna drill herself, right? This is not where I belong.
This acting, this is always your dream?
Yeah.
We gotta find a lease, drill it, we gotta make a strike in 30 days. I think with your Harvard smarts, you can help me solve this.
You two keep scheming, and I'll start collecting tips in case I have to bail you out of jail.
You really are willing to risk everything.
Yes, I am.
He loves you. You know that, right?
When I get too close, he always ends up drifting away.
There comes a time one could sure use a little help.
You're shooting the ring!
Bullseye!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cherry the Geek TV. I'm Joe Vanourney. We are joined today by Mark Bristol, who's the co-writer, producer, and director of Accidental Texan, which is opening in theaters everywhere March 8th. Mark, welcome to Cherry the Geek TV.
Thank you so much for having me. Deeply appreciate it.
Now, Mark, I loved this film. I thought it was sweet. I haven't laughed this much at a movie in forever. I can't remember how long it's been since I laughed so much. Tell people what the genesis of the film is and what attracted you about the story that made you want to direct it.
Well, first of all, thank you, because that just means the world. And you know, incredibly enough, I was attached to direct it 20 years ago. It's an independent film and independently financed. And at the time, Julie Denny, who wrote the original screenplay and has championed this movie for 20 years, we just couldn't quite bring the pieces together. And she came back to me, you know, in 2019 and said, you know, I've always dreamed of you making this movie. She's always appreciated the fact that I'm a storyboard artist as well as a director, and that brings a really unique style of storytelling and experience to the table. And so she and I and Cohen Wooten, my writing producing partner, set to work. And you know, the story has always resonated with me. Growing up in Texas, I've known these larger than life characters like Merle and Faye Brown and Schiermeyer, and so the opportunity to cinematically bring them to life was a great thrill. You know, it's such a cinematic story. It's taken from the book Chocolate Lizards, which is in and of itself a very fanciful film or a story, I should say. And so it just gave us a great opportunity to take this outsider, Erwin Vanderveer, played by the magnificent Rudy Pankow, and unveil the world of Texas and of these amazing characters through his eyes. And as he became more and more, endeared to Merle's plight and to the people in his world, he became more and more, engrossed in their lifestyle, and the landscape of Texas really opened up to him. So it's just a great story, and any filmmaker would be so lucky as to be able to just tell a great story with the most remarkable cast anybody could ever hope for.
Now, speaking of great stories, I find your story, the story of Mark Bristol, fascinating. You last directed a feature film 24 years ago.
Yeah.
And in these past 24 years, you've spent your time building a career as a storyboard artist and in the pre-visualization departments of some of the biggest films, working with some of the biggest directors in Hollywood. I'm just going to read a list of some of the people you've collaborated with: Terrence Malick, Christopher Nolan, David Fincher, Richard Linklater, Spike Jonze. You did the last 4 Mission Impossible films with Christopher McQuarrie. What lessons did you learn from these decades of doing storyboards and working in previs? And can you give any examples of what you learned from these directors, collaborating with these directors, that you applied to yourself in directing Accidental Texan?
Sure, great question. And I always approached each film, television show, music video, commercial that I work on as a masterclass. You're given access to these incredible talents. And so I would listen, not only you're participating in delivering their vision to the crew. A storyboard is a drawn representation of each shot in a movie. And so you're helping, you have to get into their mindset and try to understand their style of filmmaking. And so I've taken pieces and parts of all of these different amazing filmmakers that I've worked with and then synthesized those into my own. Through Terrence Malick, I really learned about the poetry of cinema, that it doesn't always have to rely on dialogue. It can be told through music and through cinema and composition and through sound. And, through Christopher McQuarrie, who has been a dear friend and collaborator for 25 years, emotion and putting emotion into every single scene, not only on the script, but, in dealing with the actors, it comes down to your lens choices. What is it you're trying to convey to the audience, and then and what is the emotional content that you can really pull out of that scene. Through Ken Kwapis, who you didn't mention, I learned so much about demeanor on set, how to compose yourself, and how to work with actors, and how to be a positive force of energy and of excitement. You're making a movie and you're directing. It's one of the greatest joys, despite all the stress and despite all, having to carry the film. It's, you inspire through your own joy, which was a big part for me. So I would go off set to vent, I'd go off set to talk about difficult things with my trusted producers. But on set, I try to remain positive, and in that you stay creative. You're not you're able to pivot on a dime when calamities occur, or when a script change, or the actor has said, "Hey, what about this?" So you're trying to keep yourself in a very positive way, in a creative way. Through Fincher, it's the absolute exacting knowledge of cinema and how to apply it. Spike Jonze, the frivolous, having fun, allow yourself to have fun, not only as a creative, but also on screen. Be collaborative, allow the script to change, allow your actors to have absolute freedom to come to the table with their own ideas, and not be dogmatic. Again, Chris also talks about nothing is sacred, everything can change, and follow that and move with that, and let don't be dogmatic. Don't dig your heels in on a script or on the edit. Listen to the audience when you do test screenings. Listen to what they have to say. If you don't agree with it, maybe that's the path you need to really listen to, because they're the ultimate judge that we're going before, very soon, in a week. So much. Each one of them was a master class that I was incredibly enough being paid to be a participant in, but most people would pay millions of dollars to listen to Christopher McQuarrie talk about how he makes a movie, and why, and what's important. Tom Cruise. So yeah, and so all of that, they've all been mentors, feeds its way into how I make films. And then it's been so touching to be able to share this experience with them, and share the trailer and soon the movie, and I can't wait for their responses.
Now, my wife and I have been together for about seven or 8 years now. we see at least 2 or 3 movies every week. So over the course of our relationship, hundreds of movies. And we've noticed a trend that no matter what movie we see, there's always an appearance by a chicken or chickens, right? So there's either a live chicken, somebody's eating a chicken, somebody says the word chicken. It's our thing. Like whenever a chicken's out, we're like, chicken. Your film, I got to tell you, out of the hundreds of films I've seen, you have a scene involving chickens that's now moved to #1 position, greatest use of a chicken in a major motion picture. If you were here, I'd present you the prize, but I'll do it virtually. You win the award, Mark, for greatest use of a chicken in a major motion picture. I will now give you a moment to give your acceptance speech.
Well, I have to give full credit to our co-writer and co-producer Cohen Wooten. That was all his idea. And he grew up in a small Texas town, Fredericksburg, and had been around that. And as when we were working with Julie on the story and trying to expand this journey, in many ways I kind of saw them as these knights on a quest, and the grail is of course Schiermeyer, and what is he holding on to, like the dragon in his lair. And so we tried to come up with all these different scenarios that would test this new friendship and also put Erwin into a really awkward, strange world. He's this Harvard-educated LA actor, and suddenly he's in the middle of nowhere, Texas. And so Cohen's brilliant idea was this chicken gag, which played off marvelously. And of course, Thomas, knew how to pull every comic moment out of that, and they both just do a brilliant job. So thank you. That is.
I watched it last night. My wife was asleep when I watched it. She hasn't seen the scene yet. I'm going to show it to her later today. But you're the winner. It was a great. We're almost out. We're almost out.
If I get no other award for this movie, that's the best one. Thank you.
We're almost out of time. Before we go, I want to ask you. I see that you're currently working in the storyboard department on the new Tron film, Tron Ares. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'm a huge Tron fan. Visually, it's an amazing, for the leap from Tron to Tron Legacy was amazing. What can you tease? What can we expect visually from the upcoming Tron film, Tron Ares?
Well, it's in the hands of a magnificent director. I've admired so many of his movies, and so he's bringing a very fresh, new, exciting take on this world that we all love. The biggest thing that I still don't know the answer to, that I'm most excited about, is who's going to do the music. I mean, I still listen to, Daft Punk's Tron soundtrack all the time. And so I'm so excited to see, what's the next step, what's the next evolution in that soundscape. So we'll see. I'm as much of a fan as anybody else. It was a great joy.
Well, the film is called Accidental Texan, opens in theaters everywhere March 8th. Your cast has Carrie-Anne Moss and Bruce Dern, who is in supporting roles, who are always fantastic. Thomas Haden Church and Rudy Pankow as the leads. And Rudy Pankow, I wasn't familiar with him at all. This kid's the real deal, right? He knocks it out of the park. He's so funny. I moved Outer Banks to the top of my queue. I gotta check him out, see his other work.
He's remarkable. He's a star on the rise, to be sure.
So Mark, thank you so much for chatting with us today on Cherry the Geek.
Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. What a joy.